Welcome back to Sportsworld. The FIFA World Cup in South Africa is 500 days away, and organisers are working round the clock to be ready for the opening ceremony on June 10th, 2010. As Al Jazeera's Bernard Smith explains, apart from having the venues ready in time, problems with the country's infrastructure and its high levels of crime will also have to be addressed.
This will be the sound of the 2010 World Cup in South Africa.
Actually, we played the vuvuzela at the stadium just because we want to motivate the players, let the players know that we're behind them.
It's the vuvuzela, South Africa's national football instrument. It's a simple, big plastic trumpet blown by just about every fan at every football match in the country. If you're coming next year, you might want to bring some earplugs. Construction work is likely to go on almost up to the kick-off of the opening match. Danny JORDAAN is the man tasked with making sure everything is ready. He's got little time for the critics who say South Africa has taken on too much.
Of course, you famously said only God could stop you. Is that still the case?
Well, I think God has been smiling on us. Of course, we had many interruptions. We had cost escalations. We had strikes on site. But we managed to keep the program on track, and we are very happy. We're now in the phase of selling the tickets for the World Cup.
Soweto's Soccer City will be the showpiece stadium, hosting the opening and final games and others. It's been almost completely rebuilt, and JORDAAN promises 2010 will be a success.
When everyone walk away from this event and proclaim it truly to be a huge celebration of the best that Africa can offer, of painted faces, of drums, of music, of song and dance and celebration, and change the image of our country in the African continent, that this is a continent of peace, of deepened democracy, of business opportunities, of a tourism destination, and all of those things become a reality. I think I'll sit there with a huge smile on my face. Very tired at that stage, of course, after probably at that stage 16 years on this project.
The South African government has spent some $300 million just on rebuilding this facility. It will eventually become the national stadium. When the World Cup kicks off in June next year, there'll be some 74,000 fans screaming inside. And the organisers hope that that will help put the African continent on the international footballing map. 10 stadia across 9 South African cities will host a total of 64 games for 2010. New venues have been built, others upgraded. They'll be tested later this year in the Confederations Cup. The June tournament, basically a World Cup warm-up, includes current champions Italy, as well as African champions Egypt, European champions Spain, and Copa America winners Brazil. 2010 has also been used as an excuse to invest heavily in public transport. A new high-speed overground and underground rail link will connect the sprawling cities of Johannesburg and Pretoria to the international airport. The project is a first on the African continent.
Stop, man! Stop!
But it's crime that makes most foreigners nervous about South Africa, and with good reason. The country has the second highest murder rate in the world, 25 per day. There are 14,000 carjackings a year and 3 rapes an hour. World Cup organisers are powerless to do anything about it. The government, though, is promising huge investments in policing and security. Then there's the appalling performance of the host team. For a country passionate about its football, BAFANA have been a national embarrassment. South Africa couldn't even qualify for next year's Africa Cup of Nations in Angola. With a Brazilian coach at the helm, the national team will be desperate to avoid an early and humiliating elimination from the World Cup. Between now and then, they're looking for quality sparring partners to help raise their game. But the nation's president is optimistic. But then he has to be.
We think with the correct support and so on, they should do well. Yeah. After all, we are the hosts, so we got to at least reach the semi-finals.
MOTLANTHE was meeting former South African football heroes. Many missed their chance to shine on the international stage because of the country's isolation during apartheid.
It's a dream coming to reality to each and every young South African. Not only South Africans, but to each and every African youngster that wishes to actually be there, to have a feel of what the World Cup is all about.
1, 2, 3, 4, baba, 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 baba.
Meanwhile, the art of the vuvuzela is being taken to a new level. Brace yourselves for the Vuvuzela Orchestra. They've now got 500 days to go before the World Cup kicks off. By then, hopefully, they'll be in tune. Bernard Smith, Al Jazeera, Johannesburg.